last class, we saw the story of Lion and the Jewel, written by Wole Soyinka. So the story started with in the legendary village, and these are the Sidi, the character, who is loved by Lakunli and Baroka, and Sidi is as a traditional character wants a man who can give her the bride price. And there is a mine in the story, a stranger who has come to the village and who has taken photograph of Sidi, and he has again come back to give the photographs to Sidi. And Lakunli is asked or forced to act as the stranger in the mine. As soon as Baroka appears in the scene, the village people go away, and Lakunli alone stays, and he is used as a translator between the stranger and the Sidi. Now, that's the part 1 ended. And part 2 story, we will see the part 2. So, part 2 is the evening. The scene actually opens in the bedroom of Baroka. In his bedroom, Baroka's favorite wife, we saw one of the character, plucks or trims the hair from Baroka's armpit. He tells her that he is going to take a new wife soon. After this conversation, Baroka's favorite wife gets angry and she plucks her hair very harshly. This time, Sadiku, the first wife of Baroka, enters into the bedroom. As a result, Baroka sends his favorite wife away from his bedroom. Sadiku tells her husband that Sidi has refused to marry him because he is old enough to be his father. Baroka gets angry. He lists his achievements to Sadiku. He says that his forefather has given birth to many children, but he has not given birth to many children as his father and forefather has did. And in a gentle love, Baroka asks Sadiku to rub his feet. He picks up a copy of the magazine in which the photograph of Sidi has appeared, and he says to Sadiku that he has lost his manhood a week before. On hearing this, Sadiku becomes shocked. Baroka asks Sadiku not to let the secret to anyone, especially to women. That evening, Sidi is seen in the village square. She is having the magazine in her hand and she is still admiring her photographs. Sadiku enters the square. She takes a wood carved figure, treats the wood as Baroka. She laughs at the wooden figure. She begins to chant, "Take warning, my masters, we will scotch you in the end," and dances around the figure. That it shows that Sadiku is happy that Baroka at last has lost his manhood. Sidi is shocked. She goes to Sadiku, asks the reason for her happiness. Sadiku opens the secret of Baroka to Sidi. Sidi is overjoyed and joins the dance. Lakunli enters the square. He watches the women dancing. Sidi suddenly stops and says she wants to play a game with Baroka. She decides to go to him and ask forgiveness for her harsh behavior. the previous day. Sadiku gives her blessings and Sidi runs off to the home of Baroka. Lakunli calls the woman foolish. Sadiku tells Lakunli that he is unattractive, hence she asks Lakunli to pay the bride price to marry Sidi. However, Lakunli says it is foolish act to Sidi to go to Baroka's palace. That night, Sidi enters Baroka's house. Inside the house, Baroka is engaged in wrestling match with his wrestler. Baroka is stunned and is angered that nobody was there to greet Sidi. He asks someone to keep her out of his bedroom. He blames his servant for taking off on Sundays, office half-day leave. Office not half-day leave, it is rest from the work. So he blames his servant for taking rest on Sundays. Sidi asks Baroka for forgiveness for her has to reply to Sadiku. He pretends, but Baroka pretends that he does not know what she is talking about. Sidi asks Baroka's favorite wife if she was somehow dissatisfied with her husband in the past week. Baroka says that he is not worried for his wife being unhappy. Baroka asks Sidi to sit down and watch the wrestling game, and Baroka sits to watch the wrestling game. Sidi says that the wrestler will win. Baroka says that the wrestler must win. He further says that he loves to fight with men who challenge him. He changes the wrestler when he learns how to beat them. So this is the character of Baroka. Whenever he wins the wrestler, and for the second time he never wrestles with the man. He changes the wrestler. Similarly, he takes new wives when he is satisfied with the old one. Sidi now tells Baroka that someone brought her an offer of marriage earlier that day. She further says that the suitor was old enough to be his father. She asks Baroka if he would allow her to marry that man. Baroka gets angry. He throws his wrestler and Sidi celebrates the victory of Baroka. The men begin to arm wrestle with Baroka. Baroka questions Sidi. He asks about her shooter. Sidi insults Baroka's, saying that he is no more a man. Baroka wins the match again and sends his wrestler away. After sending the wrestler away, Baroka comes near Sidi and sits beside her. He asks Sidi if Sadiku has invented a story for Sidi. He complains that Sadiku constantly lies women to find him a match to marry, and now Sidi is shocked. We will continue the story in the next class, dear students. At this, we will stop.